Uprooted Theatrical Studios presents.
It's 10 Tips Tuesday.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Reese. I'm an actor and dancer and Belmont alum, and I have been living in Boston for the last 3 years. Madison asked me to share a little bit about what it has been like to live and work in the Boston market. So some of the tips I will share are more geared towards actors because I'm an actor, but some of them will be for any kind of artist who wants to live in the New England area. So the first tip that I would give to anyone is to get involved with Stage Source. They're an incredible resource that offers all kinds of things for anyone in the theater industry. You're going to find audition postings there and job postings. They do advocacy work. They offer workshops and events, and you can find discounts to local shows. It's really just a great way to get involved and stay informed. They were hugely instrumental in helping me get my feet on the ground when I first arrived, and then keeping up to date with what was happening in the theater world while I've been there. Number 2 is a question that I get asked a lot. Do you need a car to live in Boston and be an actor? No. There are plenty of people that I know who get along just fine without one. If you do have one, however, you can really expand the market in which you're able to work. I grew up in Texas, so going to another state is a road trip. But in Boston, you can go to New Hampshire or Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, the North Shore and South Shore of Massachusetts, or even Cape Cod, and get involved with theater work there. And it's like a miracle to me that I'm still not entirely over. But if you have a car, you can do a show in Maine. Who knew? Number 3 is less of a tip, but it is a good thing to know. Boston is only 4 hours away from New York City, so it's very easily accessible by train or by bus. If you're a braver person than I and want to drive yourself there and figure out how to park, then you can. But if you're not sure if you want to live in New York, or if you know that New York isn't for you, but you'd like to be involved kind of at your own pace, it's a really great accessible distance to be able to go kind of when it suits you. And who doesn't have friends in New York City, right? So you can keep in touch with them and visit them, support them in the work that they're doing, and hopefully someone will be kind enough to let you crash on their couch while you're there. Number 4, like a lot of cities, Boston has kind of an audition season. That's not to say you can't find auditions during the rest of the year, but spring is when a lot of the main larger companies are going to be auditioning their main stage seasons. Going off of that, in every spring, Stage Source offers an audition. Stage Source, referenced in tip number 1. They have an audition where a lot of companies will come together and you can audition for them all at once, kind of like a mini unified. The great thing about that is it's not just traditional theater companies. You can meet educational companies, event companies, a lot of different people who are looking for actors and performers in less traditional ways that you may not think of or know about, to get involved and use your skills in other capacities. Number 6 is there are over 100 colleges and universities in Boston. A lot of them have film programs. So if you are looking to build a reel, if you would like to meet other actors, if you would like to get to know the students and see what the next generation of our film industry is going to look like, there are so many opportunities to get involved in student film in Boston. It's really mind-blowing. Also having to do with film, there are some great casting companies that work in TV and film in Boston and are great to get involved with if you are interested in going that route, not just as an actor, but also behind the camera as well. There's lots of technical work being done and available for artists in the area. Little Women was recently filmed there, as well as a Liam Neeson film. So there's lots of TV and film happening just outside of Boston and right in the city. Number 8. Number 8 was one of the best pieces of advice that I was given when I first arrived, and it is because Boston functions in the state of dead of winter for about 14 months of the year, it's a really good idea to try and stay involved as much as you can during the cold winter months. It's going to be so tempting to cocoon up and never leave your house again. But if you can continue to go to classes and meet people and stay involved, see shows, do whatever you can to get yourself out of the house, it's not only smart for a career because our whole industry is built on relationships, but it also is going to help battle the winter blues, which are very real if you're not used to them. Number 9 also has to do with winter, and it's if you're going to an audition in the winter and there's snow on the ground or ice, you might consider bringing another pair of shoes to audition in. You certainly don't have to, but if you would like to and you're like me and you can't think straight with 20-pound weights on your feet, then no one is going to look at you funny if you want to change your shoes. If you don't want to, that's also okay. Everyone understands it's kind of a necessary evil of living in the city, but just something to know. Number 10, it is hugely universal. It's said all the time. It sounds silly, but it's so important, and it's just be nice to people. The world is small. The theater industry is small. Boston is small, and it took me less than a month to start seeing the same faces at auditions, and the more I was there, the more I was like, wow, it's a really small industry and a small world, and it's great to get to know people and build relationships, but just make sure you're making a good impression, right? And we should be kind to people always, but keep it in mind. It's a small market. So anyway, those are my 10 tips. I hope that was helpful. If you're interested in moving to Boston, want to know more, feel free to reach out. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.